The state of the industry is quite peculiar these days. So I think the industry grown very, very fast. I mean, the NFT is the world of the year, the word of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
year,
yeah.
according to the dictionary. So
Yes.
uh, basically everyone in 2021 is talking about NFTs. So we see how these NFTs penetrate like basically every part mm, of the media industry, I
Yeah.
would say.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ben, and I will be hosting today's podcast session as usual. Today, we have a very special guest. His name is Alex Salnikov. He is the head of product and co-founder of Rarible. He has been an active developer in the crypto space since 2012, and Alex has also previously served as the chief technology officer of CoinOffering, the first company to actually offer its shares in the form of blockchain assets. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Rarible and their upcoming developments for uh, the NFT marketplace, and that's kind of what's coming up. So welcome to the podcast, Alex.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me here today. I'm so excited to talk through all sorts of things today.
Yeah. Welcome. So now that you're on, right, there's this thing that I like to do with our NFT speakers beforehand. Before we start talking about Rarible and everything, I always like to ask, tell us about yourself and what would you say is your favorite NFT?
Yeah. About myself, it's really hard to talk about myself. I think I completely blended with my, project identity. So I fully associate myself with just the head of product of Rarible, and that's most part of my life. But overall, I think I'm just a digital geek. I live a nomadic life from traveling from here to there and enjoy all the things digital. I think digital products and services and companies made my life so much better. So I'm a true believer in the digitalization of everything. I think NFTs are this forefront of digitalization of intellectual property rights. So that's why I'm here. My favorite NFTs. My favorite NFTs would probably be stuff from individual creators that are present on Rarible. So Lerona, I don't know if you know those names. She made this amazing collection, Boys, the dolls, like the boy dolls from different like materials, wooden, glasses,
Yeah,
and
I've
stuff like
seen that.
that. Yeah, you've seen it. Dust Monkey, again, individual creator who creates characters that are these cute little guys. He just released a new version of Sitting Guys before that, and they were standing. So, and the Dust Monkey, the Kid 8, who releases again characters. So again, he's doing this little guys who are almost like this gangster kids. Uh, so I love those guys. Well, the NFTs are about communities,
Right.
so I mostly love communities rather than specific art.
Oh, I completely understand. Yeah, no, I love NFTs as well. So I totally get that, it's more about the community than sometimes more about the community than the art itself. And it's always the best when it's both. Oh, all right then, So we kind of got hints already about what we're going to talk about, which is essentially Rarible. And like I said before, it is an NFT marketplace, but that's a very simple statement. Can you just share a little bit more what Rarible is?
Rarible is a lot of things now.
Mhm.
So 2 years ago, a little bit more than 2 years ago, I need to update that number. So it's like 2.1 years ago, 2 years and 1 month, really. We forgot to celebrate our 2 years birthday. Oh my. So 2 years ago, we pioneered the permissionless minting and the marketplace. So back then, you couldn't create NFTs if you just wanted to create NFTs. So there were like more or less two options if you wanted to create NFTs. The first one, you deploy the contract yourself, you host images on IPFS yourself, and you need a team, maybe an engineer, to do all of that and to produce a collection of NFTs. And the second option was to use one of the curated platforms that allowed you to mint, but they vet everyone and required to pass the verification until you actually can become, until you actually can begin minting. We went ahead and thought, like, why don't we allow anyone to do it? Actually, because in this world, in the Web3 world, it's not something common to ask somebody's permission to mint something. So we just created a simple page like, okay, log in here, connect your wallet, not even log in, connect your wallet and upload your assets to the blockchain, make a name to it and put it for sale for a specific price, just a plain sale, and hit the create button, and that would be it. So again, pioneer it as this open minting platform for everyone and a very simple marketplace, like just list it for sale, and that's it. And then gradually we evolved into the full featured marketplace with all sorts of things like leaderboards for collections, leaderboards for buyers, sellers, hot collections, filters by price, by trades, ability to refresh your metadata. So like just the full featured marketplace that you would expect it to be. They double down on secondary marketplace, secondary market for the collections. Right now, I just recently checked the data for the December. The amount of NFTs traded that were minted on Rarible accounts for 40%. And for the NFTs that are not minted on Rarible, just the secondary market for all the other NFTs is 60%. So we are effectively like outgrown this minting thing, but of course we embrace the minting capabilities. One of the unique features would be ability to mint editions. It's not something common for you to mint editions. We support NFT 1155, ERC 1155 standard to mint editions, and the custom royalties to set up the custom royalties like 10, 15, 50 even percent. So again, started as a minting platform, evolved into the full featured marketplace, and then there was like this big move, and we took the infrastructure behind the marketplace. So the marketplace works, utilizes smart contracts and indexing service that allows you to understand what happened with these NFTs. So we took that infrastructure and we create a separate product out of that infrastructure. So anybody else can create their own NFT experience, their own NFT marketplace, or their own NFT feature inside their wallet. So it's basically the product line that we have actually follows the journey of the user in the NFT space. At first, they discover the space and they're either buying something or create their first NFTs. Then they move on to create their own first project. Okay, now the person created the full featured collection, and they use Rarible for secondary market, and then they go and create their own marketplace for their own collection that became very successful. So this is the whole product line that we have. Sorry, that was a long answer to the question, what is Rarible now? It's a minting platform, marketplace, and a protocol.
I mean, yeah, no worries. It's perfectly fine to explain the evolution of Rarible, right? Because it's so much more than just a marketplace. Like you mentioned, it's all those features as well. And we talk a lot about where Rarible came from, right? But recently there's been quite a lot of developments for Rarible as a marketplace as well. For example, the cross-chain into Tezos was one. And from what I've understand, there's also some additional features for the mobile version. Could you elaborate on these?
Yes. So I think that's the big part of the Rarible journey in 2021.
Mhm.
Uh, in the beginning of 2021, we had only one team. We had only one product team that was doing everything. And the whole 2020 we lived with that one team. So we scaled the team very rapidly and very successfully into like 5, 6 product teams, and the amount of things that we can do now is actually like much bigger. So and what you can see now, this second part of the year, is the result of that hard work of scaling the team. So we actually rolled out a lot of things. First, we hit the bare minimum of features that you would expect from the marketplace. For trading collectibles, it's filters by trade, its auctions, its ability to understand statistics of the collection. You can see charts, you can see numbers, how many individual owners there is, what is the highest sale. You can even filter the chart of what's the historical floor price for only golden apes, let's say. So you can filter that. Double down on the marketplace. Yes, features for trading collectibles. That was very important for us. Also launched Messenger as internal part of the marketplace for first as the widget. But the ambition for the Messenger is actually much bigger, because there is no way to send a message to a random Ethereum address right now. And not
Right.
only Ethereum,
Yes.
the Messenger is multi-chain. So a lot of people use their wallet as identity, but there is no way to communicate.
Yep.
So the big ambition for Messenger, and of course, as you mentioned, the multi-chain. So the first additional chain that we added was Flow, and with the collections like CNN, Evolution, MotoGP. And the second one was the Thesis, which I think was extremely well met by the community. A lot of individual artists that I told you about previously, that they are like my favorite
Yep.
NFT guys. They use Tezos. They migrated to Tezos when Ethereum gas prices begin to rise, and also all this narrative about clean
Yep.
NFTs and
POS.
NFTs. Yes, because a lot of people who came to the NFT space, they're actually uh, were um, were upset about the new technology not
Yep.
being aligned with the latest society developments. We're all
Yep.
talking about climate change and
Clean
sustainability,
energy
and
ethos.
yeah, it feels a little bit weird when the newest technology that we have is not aligned with that ethos.
Yeah.
Well, it arguably NFTs are arguably safe on Ethereum for the environment, because Ethereum is going to upgrade. Ethereum is going to use proof of stake, and on this like tiny period of several years that we have right now, it's not so bad for the environment. But of course, like for when we talk about Tezos, it's almost like zero carbon footprint for NFTs, because no mining involved in the proof of stake technology. So lower fees, clean NFTs, faster transactions, and this is the like next generation of blockchains, almost. The Tezos is a sharp example of that. That's why we chose Tezos as the second chain. So and going further, we will add many more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I completely get that, and I actually really like the messenger product, because I think one of the biggest issues, like you mentioned, is so hard to discuss with anonymous people, right? So you want the
Yeah.
ability to be able to negotiate on your products, on your collectibles. Nowadays people just talk through auction offers, right? Counter offer. But being able to talk it out is a lot more cogent, right? It's better than chatting on Discord.
It's definitely better, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we kind of got a lot of hints about where Rarible is heading, right? But uh, and there are a lot of other NFT marketplaces, right? Obviously, everyone knows OpenSea, which is still today the biggest, and if you count by trading volume. So, I want to ask what separates Rarible from other platforms like OpenSea and that's super rare, etc.
Yeah. There are a lot of NFT platforms right now,
Yeah.
and if you try to draw a map of all the projects, there will be a lot of projects that are closed, that are curated, let's say like Super Rare and Nifty
Mhm.
Gateway and other people who actually check like who is allowed to issue assets, and there are open platforms like OpenSea or Rarible. And Rarible is like on this scale, Rarible is an open platform, probably arguably one of the most open platforms. We always supported that ethos of decentralization. We are one of the first community-owned NFTs with the Rare governance token. That is a big differentiator, and we just have this protocol which is open sourced. You can spun up your own node for the NFT API. So I would say this openness, this thesis of we should be as decentralized as we can, and we are on the road of progressively decentralized and become the full featured DAO. This is the big differentiator. On the product side, the multi-chain is of course a very, very big thing, because we are the first, if I'm not mistaken, NFT marketplace that combines several layer ones on the platform. So like there are a couple examples when we have layer twos marketplaces, but several layer ones is something that nobody had done. And we see the 2022 year to be a lot about other chains. We see how TikTok is speaking Mutable X, uh, Ubisoft is speaking Tezos, somebody else was speaking Solana. So chains, all the sports guys are on Flow. So chains have their own like preferred IP rights holders and assets, and this thing when Ethereum is like one chain to rule them all is uh, fading away slowly, slowly. But we see, I think Solana is now account for 10% of all NFT sales. That's not small.
Yeah, yeah. So okay. No, it's quite interesting, right? You raised the fact that Rarible has a governance token, which is very interesting because many people always are looking for tokens these days. There's always that big hoo-ha about OpenSea and how they're raising a lot of equity money and they're probably not going to release a token. So tell me about the journey, or the decision to decentralize Rarible through your governance token, Rari. I think it's quite clear why you chose to do this because you mentioned that you firmly believe in the decentralization ethos. But could you share a little bit more about the journey? Last year I think
Yeah,
is when it's released, and also maybe answer: is this a standard that we should expect for all NFT marketplaces?
of course. So uh, why we decided to go with the token? I think that's almost wasn't the question. From the very beginning, we were very community oriented, and listening to the guys on Twitter, like what should we build, who should we add, who should we verify. So it made a ton of sense, like what to give that community more power over choosing what should be the platform's course of actions. And of course, being that many years in the blockchain space, the understanding of how important decentralization is very clear. So it wasn't even a choice; it was a matter of like how exactly should we do it. And I think the stars came together when in the summer of just half a year after we started, so summer 2020, and there was like a DeFi boom, and the liquidity mining program as a concept emerged in the whole space. So Rarible pioneered with the liquidity mining program for the marketplace, and that was very effective. So what we basically did, we tried to bootstrap liquidity. There was a good product, you could mint an NFT, you can sell an NFT, but there wasn't a lot of buyers and sellers. So what we actually did is we started to reward the liquidity, and the liquidity on the marketplace is buyers and sellers. So we started to reward buyers and sellers with the governance token for their contribution to the marketplace. That was a big success. Everything spiked in terms of like volume metrics, users, and that established Rarible as a brand. Uh, that's a very successful thing for Rarible. Then and that's also distributing ownership to the users, to the core community of Rarible. That's very important. What we learned, although, that it's actually hard for creators to participate in the governance a lot. So over time, we came to the thinking, okay, so right now, the governance token, the rare governance token, it's mostly the governance token for the protocol, for this part of the company that is built on the open and decentralized principles from day zero. So for the marketplace, we were a private company, and we are progressively decentralized that. But still, the front end development, moderation, all that things, they are quite hard to decentralize. So and also we need to iterate fast there. So on the other hand, the protocol is a thing that is more like a public good, like an infrastructure, like roads, for example, in the real world. And this public good is used by other projects. And these projects, they want to be sure that their opinion is represented when we choose like how the protocol should develop. So Rare token is now the main governance token for the protocol and for other products that are built on the open principles day zero. Protocol is decentralized. You can spin up your own node. It's open source, and so this part of Rarible will evolve and continue working as a DAO. While the marketplace, it's more like a front end of the protocol. So Uniswap has a lot of front ends. The wallets utilize Uniswap. They have their own front end, the app.uniswap.org. Now that's the same mental model. There is a protocol, which is decentralized, open source, community owned, and there are several like front ends that work on top of that protocol. And Rarible.com as a marketplace is only one of those front ends.
All right. Yeah, I think it's a cool way of putting it, because frankly, I never thought of it that way, but now you put it, yeah, it totally makes sense. It's just surface level, right? To add so much more. Okay, so I want to ask. We talk a lot about Rarible and NFTs as well. There's a lot of things behind all these products are actually communities, and I just want to ask, how different is the Rarible community from other communities? And when I say community, I'm actually talking about the type of creators or developers or collectors you get, on Rarible.
I think the Rarible community, its core originated just when we started. The guys like Robness or Ozzy, very loud and important people in the space. So the joined Rarible as an open platform because they didn't believe in the fact that there should be a platform that chooses like who should be present on the platform. And that community, the main community of Rarible, mostly formed around that people. And as of today, I would say that the core Rarible community is mostly individual creators that are putting NFTs on the market. They are usually not creating their own projects. They're mostly like, okay, I am individual creator myself. I want to put stuff on the market. That's my thing. And mostly people who are on further on the decentralization spectrum. So people who support, okay, uh, we shouldn't delete this controversial collection because it is important for everyone to have a voice. So let's make so the adepts of openness, I would say, in decentralization. Uh, when Avi Gochi guys came to Rarible like a couple months ago, we had like the full blown launch for their collection. So when these guys came to Rarible, that was one of their calls, like we like Rarible because it's decentralized. We don't believe in the private companies in the Web3 space. So that would be the main characteristics of Rarible community today. It's creators, individuals, mostly believing in a decentralized ethos.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. Okay, so now I actually have a throwaway question, which is kind of tapping on what you mentioned earlier, right? About of Rarible's core product is to offer creators to mint their project through Rarible's contracts. There are actually some NFT collectors or creators who do not like minting directly from marketplace contracts. You know, the purists believe that true blockchain artists need to create their own contracts. This is it's kind of random, but just want to ask what your thoughts are on this.
I totally agree with that, people, actually. So when you create your own collection through Rarible, there is an ability to do so. It actually deploys the smart contract from your own wallet, and only you is the owner of that wallet. And you can do a lot of things. You can add that collection to other marketplaces. You can control its royalty. You can be the true owner of that collection. So I totally support people who want to create their own collection, and that the true creators should have their own collection. It's only the matter of the cost now. So sometimes it's expensive to create your own collection. It's expensive to deploy the collection to the Ethereum. Uh, we actually recently optimized that process and cut more or less like 30% of gas costs that you need to spend to create your own collection. And right now, especially before the new year, the gas prices are quite low. Just a couple days ago, I was able to create my own new collection on Rarible just for $300. Uh, that's not small, but compared to like a
Yeah, yeah,
couple thousand that you had during the spikes of gas prices, that's a very affordable thing. And moreover, that's actually one of the latest news. Just several days ago, we released that feature that when you create your own collection, you will be able to lazy mint inside that collection, inside your own collection. So to create items for free, actually. So you're only paying for the creation of collection, and then you mint all items for free.
okay, that's really cool.
So yeah, kudos. Just create your own collections, guys. It's amazing.
Okay, diving, retreating a bit back, right? We're just trying to understand the landscape as a whole. You know, what's your overall opinion on the current state of the industry and infrastructure that we have for buying or selling NFTs in general?
Um, the state of the industry is quite peculiar these days. So I think the industry grown very fast. I mean, the NFT is the world of the year, the word of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
year,
yeah.
according to the dictionary. So
Yes.
uh, basically, everyone in 2021 is talking about NFTs. Every artist, every influencer, every brand, the mainstream brands aped
Yeah,
into the space.
Nike and Adidas.
Nike, Adidas, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Valve. I'm not sure about Valve actually.
I mean, they banned
Marvel.
NFTs.
Oh, they banned NFTs. Yes.
Steam, yeah.
So uh, just a lot of new people in the NFT space. The industry is booming, and what we've seen in the 2020, that the crypto art market was very popular in 2020. It was like half of the market. was account to art. Now in 2021, at the beginning, the first half, collectibles were account for 90% of the market. And what we see now in the second half is that the gaming is on the rise, and 40% of the market is gaming NFTs, and 50% of the market is collectibles NFTs, and 10% of the market is everything else. So the market is very, very dynamic. It changes every half of the year, so that like literally the next day there is something completely new, and everybody's doing that. When we see collectibles and PFPs, the profile pictures that you can put an avatar on social networks, they're definitely play a big role in the NFT space, and they will continue to play a big role next year. Twitter rolling out this feature that will allow you to put your NFT on the profile. The Discord, will create their own NFTs integrations, and Reddit too. So we see how these NFTs penetrate like basically every part of the media industry, I would say,
Or what everyone likes to say, the metaverse.
or metaverse. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You know, we talk a lot about all this, but there's one thing I actually want to ask, right? You know, if there's one essential feature that you have to name today that is missing from every NFT marketplace, what would it be? And basically, it's a wish list. You know?
The wish list.
Yeah, essentially.
It's a very good question from every marketplace of like
basically what no one has done yet.
What no one has done yet. I think I have a couple interesting ideas. What I would really want to see is more is the connection between NFTs and DeFi, the financialization piece.
Yep.
So when you can take a loan to buy your NFTs, or when you can sell your NFTs, when you can lend it to somebody. So things like that would be very, very interesting.
Yeah. Coincidentally, I actually just did a podcast on the other day with NFT5, and they are actually offering the collateralization of NFTs through their platform. Very interesting that you raised this coincidentally.
Yes.
Okay, you know, so yeah, I get it. You know, there's a lot of NFTs and there's a lot of DeFi, but what you're looking for now is bridging the gap, right, between the two products, because there's, you know, because blockchain is always seen as Legos, right? Financial Legos. There's so many things to create that we don't know of. And then what happens when we open up to more kinds of products? You can build like infinite kinds of things. And yeah, you're right. I for one would like to be more liquid. So I can totally agree with that. Okay, you know, final question for the day. We talked of Rarible's recent developments, but what are Rarible's plans for the future? You know, the new year is coming out. 2022 is just around the corner. What do you see for Rarible in 2022?
2022, yes, I briefly touched on that, but the most important part in 2022 will be the multi-chain, right? As adopting new chains in Solana and Immutable X is an interesting tool, and we will see many more new things to emerge. That's a definitely very, very hot topic in the space, and that brings a lot of like UX challenges, because how do you combine all that things into like one profile, one identity that user can utilize, rather than just have their own like different accounts. So this is the very, very important thing. The second big part is NFTs, as we said, about communities, and we want to double down on things that will allow these communities to thrive. So things like, oh, it's just the marketplace for your own community, or let's see who are the most active people in that community, or even things like treasury management. So this is very important for the NFTs. As we see, the Bored Apes it's not an art project. It's a community of people that are driving the space forward, and that are all like recognizing each other because they're the part of the same like group. So it will be super important to double down on that. Of course, on the protocol side, we see more and more and more and more companies to join the NFT space, and they all need infrastructure to build on top. So giving them a multi-chain protocol that they can create NFT experience with, super important for us. And continue to innovate on the decentralization. So the governance for the protocol, all these things are super important for us.
Great. Okay, thank you so much, Alex, for coming today and giving your thoughts. Glad to have you on.
Glad to be here. Thank you so much for all those amazing questions. I'm enjoying.
Thank you so much, and good day, everyone. Take care.
This podcast is provided as part of the overall information on cryptocurrency contained on our website, is for your general information only, and does not howsoever constitute any endorsement, financial or investment advice, nor any solicitation or offer of securities or other financial instruments. CoinGecko and the podcast presenter makes no warranties, implied or express, of any kind in relation to this podcast, including, without limitation, the accuracy and updatedness of its content. All opinions and recommendations there in the podcast are based on the personal opinion of the presenter. Please conduct your own research and procure professional advice should you, at your own risk, decide to howsoever invest or trade in relation to the content contained in the podcast.
For the latest crypto prices, visit our website. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up to date on the latest crypto trends.